welcome to the Sales Talk. Today, we have with us Mr. Krishna G, who is a sales trainer and coach. With over 17 years of experience in sales and sales management in various sectors, including healthcare and pharma, Krishna G is a master sales trainer who helps sales team achieve their growth aspirations. He has worked for over 10 years as a senior consultant with Mercury Goldsman, part of Mercury International. We welcome you, Mr. Krishna Ji.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, since you have a great experience in sales and you are a sales trainer and coach right now, so can you please talk about yourself and your initial journey?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much once again. See, I started my sales career in 1989. If you ask me why I wanted to be in sales itself is basically because I did not know any other things. I felt only my talk is the only one which I can go and talk to somebody, and that motivated me to get into sales line. But even in sales, I had no inhibition to join to any profile, any field or something. My background has been commerce, but then I joined the pharma industry as a sales representative. I worked for 6 months in a small company, and then somebody picked up me from the field and said, why don't you join for another company? And that's where I got an opportunity to work with UniSearch, which is a division of Unichem.
Okay.
And initial posting was for me from Bangalore. They posted me to Belgaum. And with lots of optimism, hope, and so many things which were there. I did very well for 2 years and then came back to Bangalore and did fairly well. And then I got a promotion opportunity, and I got one promotion and said I was based in North Karnataka, Hubli. And
Okay, yeah.
it was hardly a 2-people team, but then over a period of 5 years, we established from simple sales of 1.5 lakhs to 20 lakhs we reached in a month. And then again, opportunity came for me to become a zonal manager or business development manager for the same company in a different division. And I started covering 4 or 5 states with 40, 50 people reporting to me. I had worked for 17 years. 1 year, due to so many factors, external, internal factors, I did not do so well. Then I reflected myself back and said, what do I do now? What is my second innings of life? And that's where I applied to only one company, that's of Mercury Goldman. They gave me a job of sales consultant initially. And slowly we progressed and became a senior sales consultant and all that. There I worked for about 10 years. It was a wonderful company to work. 10 years, I would have done some 1,000 days of classroom training, some 10,000 people I've run, and 20 different industries I trained on that. And all of us will have an aspiration to start something on my own. I had worked for 10 years. I started my own now growth as per 5 years back. In 5 years, we have trained about more than 80 to 100 companies, both online, offline, all the transformation which happened. And it's almost about 5 years now in this role, what I'm doing. That's the brief journey about what I've taken through.
That's great. So how did you get into sales?
Yeah, I think as I said, I did not have any other option because I knew that my only strength is to talk. And I somewhere realized that this is the only profession where I can go. And that's how I attempted for a few companies, and I got the opportunity to work in same company, that's Unichem, for about 17 years. And in that, I had many roles, as a representative, as an area sales manager, as a regional manager and all that. That's how, if you ask me what is that other things I would have done, I don't think I would have done any other thing other than sales. And that's how I've been in sales for now 33 years or something. I've been enjoying this 33 years of journey. That's how I say why I got into sales is I like this. And I love this profession, and that's how it's really going on.
Yeah, that's where it is important that when you're in the profession which you love, that is the most
Uh,
important thing, right?
Correct.
So,
True.
since you are a sales trainer and you are in this training sector,
Mhm.
so can you talk about your training program?
Yeah, that's very good. What we hear, what we understand is that sales is a wonderful profession. But when a company comes and asks that they want to do a training program or something, there has to be a methodology that we have to follow.
Right.
We have developed a methodology called as digits. It's nothing but first you diagnose and understand what is the expectation from the customer. When we say about diagnosis, we interact with the customer and understand what's his challenges and expectation. And then we go to the next level of going into either the field work or interacting with the participant or do a survey to understand what does the participant expect on that. And that's the first part is about the diagnosis. And we invest a lot of time in understanding what is the business nuances first one. And then we give the insights to the customer and say, look, this is what we have understood, and this is the roadmap for your initiative, is what we
Right.
suggest. And we come to that agreement. And then we always say for all the organization, we send one letter to them and say, set a simple goal for 100 days or something. Because any training without a goal is not,
Is not,
it's only
yeah.
a wonderful event which happens, but nothing happens. That's
Yes.
what I would say. You set a goal for 100 days. Why 100 days? It's a short term goal you can measure immediately. There. Then they come to the training program. In the training program, they learn the concept, tools, how to apply this, and we make them to go through the entire experience journey. And then we say you take the action plan for implementing those goals, what you have. And then we always say, people at the end of training, they get motivated. But then when they start implementing, there will be some hiccups. We offer 3 months of support to them and say, okay, we want to help you, we want to support you. Tell me
Right.
what your challenges in implementing. And then in the last, when we have the third session or something, we say, please share us what is your achievement and what is that
Right.
you have done. And then there is a sense of satisfaction for them that they went through this journey. And that's what has given us a lot of people success. And customers also appreciate, participants also say that somebody is there to support us. And that's the 500 days journey that what we've been doing with many companies on this. And this is the best methodology, I say, because as a trainer, you must understand the context in which you are doing the
Right.
program. That's
Right.
where it works out.
Great, great. So which characteristics define a successful sales trainer according to you?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things which is required for any salesperson to become successful.
Right.
I put this in few parts. The first one is people should know about their own product in their own market
Yes.
in the industry as well.
Thorough knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I keep asking a lot of salespeople, when was the last time you read one book for your own development? And 99% of the people say we have never read. I inspire them to say at least you must read one book at least once in 3 months. Like all professions have their own books. Why
Right.
not you have your own books? And the second thing is sales is a wonderful skill, and the skill requires some amount of practice. Practice is not what you do in front of customer, but before going to customer, how do you practice and rehearse yourself on some of the things? Okay, it will come naturally over a period of time, but initial
Right.
stage, I think you need to put some practice on the skill. And the third thing is sales is a wonderful process. There is a step-by-step method which is there. People, all of us are evolved trying to find out what is that success formula, what is the process which I do, which will multiply me success on this. And
Right.
that's how, that has to be some process which they follow. And the fourth thing is you might have a great knowledge, you might have a great skill, you might have a great process, but you must be willing to put effort in the marketplace. You must go to and meet the customer. You must be able to pick up that phone call and call up the
Right.
customer. And then finally, you said about the characteristics or the attitude, what I say. The whole attitude of every salesperson should be how much I'm willing to help the customer to get success from my product or service there. I
Right.
think they have an attitude that I'm meeting a customer. Basically, I want to help him to reduce the pain or help him to become successful. I think he has done a fantastic job. The whole
Yeah.
idea is that you must make the other person to become successful with your product, is what I say.
Yes.
And the last one I say, sales is, if you look at it, whatever it is, it's more of rejection that you get more
Yeah.
out of the out of
Agreed.
the out of the 10 things you get 8 things no only. But you must
Yes.
know how to take this no in a positive way and learn
Yeah.
from that what happened and then keep improvising. Ability to accept the rejections and learn from that is the best characteristic that anybody should have.
Yes. And
Okay.
also to build relations with the clients, basically.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I completely agree. You when you do that skill, basically you are coming out with open heart and say,
Right.
look, I'm here to help you. Then only that concern, that care that you show to customer, that will
Yes.
help build up relationship there.
Yes. Absolutely.
That,
Agreed. Yeah.
that's how I
So
see it.
since you
Yeah.
started your journey from 1989, right?
Mm,
So now from 1989 versus 2022, like
mm.
what changes did you observe when you started out and as compared to the current scenario?
Yeah, there are a lot of changes. I think I can list a lot, but if you look back in 1989 when we were in pharma industry, our only methodology of meeting the doctor or a customer is to go face to face and then show something called as a visual eye. You open the
Right.
flap and show it to customer. And that's what is called as a detailing is the only way to do that. And then we used to interact and then get the sales or commitment there. But then as we moved into the other industry, we realized that what is detailing is not going to work. What is important is to understand the customer and then present a solution is what we said. Okay, and that's a completely different term because in pharma I used to spend 5 minutes with one doctor, but here I had to spend 1 hour with one customer
One
just to understand.
yeah.
Understand, and
The
it used to
needs.
have multiple.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it used to have a multiple meetings as well used to happen, correct?
Right.
And then as it moved and we started moving in that direction, I saw one of the biggest change today I see is that all customers are aware about what they want to buy. 80% of the customers actually they do a research before they call to you and say what they
Yeah.
want about that. Okay, and they are aware. Most of the people are aware, but there are some people who are not aware. Both of these are there. But what is important is that technology has helped them to become more knowledgeable. And that's why they don't want somebody who can give an information,
Yeah.
and they want somebody who can give an insights into what their business
Yeah.
and how you can
No,
solve it.
today's people have become more tech savvy. Like whenever
Or
you, yeah, like whenever you go outside, if you want something or if you want to meet any client, they just search it out, right, on mobile.
absolutely,
Like they'll
yeah,
check the social media, like, oh, okay, so ye
correct,
company ye karti hai, right? So this how it
correct.
works, right? So
Correct. And I see a lot of things in the last 2 years when the COVID started or something
right,
that we all moved from face-to-face meeting into
exactly.
what we call it as the remote selling is what we say. Okay. And as a good salesperson earlier, we used to say only talk is good. But today, I think he needs to develop some writing skills. He needs to develop some video conferencing skills.
Right.
He needs to develop about so many things. And now, because of this artificial intelligence and so many things coming, everything has become automated. And that's how the tech savvy guy also has to be there
Yes.
as well. There in the same.
Right. Right.
That's the change that I see on this. Yeah.
Right, right. Great, great. So, it's always memorable when you do your first sale,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
magic of your first sale. So we
Correct.
always keep in mind about about ki wo sale acha tha, or that's an achievement basically. So what was your professional achievement or first sale, we can say?
Yeah, well, see, as I said, if you go back to earlier pharma days,
Yeah.
the sale is nothing but you go and meet a customer and I mean doctor, and he gets impressed with your approach and your product or whatever it is. You come out and you stand in the medical shop, and the patient who goes inside gets a prescription of your brand. Okay, and you see that
Right.
prescription there, and that's a real motivation for
Yes,
any, you know,
exactly. Yeah.
to go and do there and come back with something.
Right.
But then that was what you call it as a small ticket size sales that you used to get. But then we used to go to distributors and book orders of lakhs of rupees or something. That used to give a success there. Then now I see some of the customer. I work for about 3 months to get one deal sometimes, and when you get that, that gives a satisfaction. But
Right.
ultimately, I say the real satisfaction is when the customer says, "We made a good decision of buying with you." Then that's a good satisfaction. Is what we get. That's how I
Yes.
say. Yeah.
That's great. That's so. Since you are in this training industry, like sales training industry, so can you please share that one example wherein you have helped or coach or mentor someone, and how they have improved later?
There are plenty of people whom I can say we have coached and helped them to become. But if you ask me what is the recent one, which I can say is the
Yeah.
best one, then there are two instances which I say. One is we did a training, and after about 15 days or something, everything was new for the participant to learn and apply. And the participant called up to me and said, "Look, what you have taught is good, but it's becoming very difficult for me to apply all of these things. And then there is a lot of pressure on me that I'm not doing what the way you have taught.
Right.
So I want to quit," she said. I said, "That's interesting, but what makes you to quit?" And then we probed and we understood what is her concern.
Right.
But I said, "Don't worry. If you want to quit, you want to quit after 1 month or something. But that 1 month you work with me, and then let's see how it works." And then slowly I suggested that don't do all the things at a one time, but look at what is one by one. You take it and do this. And every 3 days, once you do a call, you send me the recording, I'll give you feedback. And then after 1 month, I asked her, "What is that you want to do?" She said, "Now I don't want to quit." Then I said, "Okay, let's set the goal for next 2 months."
Yeah.
And after 2 months, she said, "Third month now, this is the third month. All the 3 months, she says she is the highest sales which she has done in the company now."
Wow. That's
Okay.
great. So that's this is achievement now.
Yeah, this is what is that.
This is what is achievement
I,
is.
yeah. And I
Right.
still give a credit to her and say it is not because of me. You were willing to attempt for something new. That's why you should get that credit. I've only played a small role of interacting in between, is what I say. And another one which I say, there was a company which is into commodity product. Okay, what I say commodity is about cement.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
cement is, there is no differentiation in this. And they asked us to train about 250 people or something. And all of these people were doing one way. And we trained about 250 people in some 7, 8 batches continuously and all that. Then they said, "No, we don't want any post-workshop support because investment is going up." Then I said, "No, as a part of to see how I have trained, I want to do this. Okay, give me a chance to talk to your people." We did a review now. And I say, out of the 250 people, so many people have done record sales in the last 2 months, is what we say. Okay, they have improved their collection, they have improved appointed dealers, they have improved their so many things. And some of these people have transformed. They say, "We were doing, but when you did the training, it gave us the direction on this." And I still say my role was only 2 days, but you did that implementation to take that first step for change.
Right.
That's what has made you to do this, is what I say. And of
Yes.
course, some support here and there is always there. But I say it is both the combination of both the trainer and the participant which works. That's how they will perform very well. That's what I say. That gives me a more satisfaction, is what I say.
Right. Right. Superb. So,
Well,
so as you earlier said about rejections, right? अभी sales है तो rejections तो it goes hand in hand, right?
correct,
So,
correct.
how one should deal with rejections, according to you?
First is when they reject. It's important to understand what are they rejecting.
Right.
Are they rejecting your product? And then you need to know what is it. Are they rejecting your solution or something? Then you need to rework on the solution. Are they rejecting your company as such? I don't think that's the reason for that. But are they rejecting you personally? Then I'm not sure, but it's important to take this one step by step and say, okay, rejection is not for me personally. I don't have to take it to heart on this, but it's always scope for improvement for me to do. And I don't expect everybody in the world to say yes to me or something, but it's important to reflect at the end of every day and say, what is that which I can do to improve further, rather than saying that crib on the rejection or something. That's how people should be able to open up and go back on this. And they should share what is their concern to their manager or anybody
Right.
who is there, what happened. And that's how they will be able to overcome this rejection, is what I say.
Yes, that's great. So, how does life look like to Krishna G outside the organization?
That's a good question. I always say I have only one wife and one daughter. The reason is that the moment they say Krishna, oh, you must be having so many, but no, I have only one wife and I have one daughter. She is about 18 years now. She is studying in liberal arts in Bangalore College, Army College.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Now, coming back to my personal things, see, basically, the sales has made me to go out and help people. Okay, that's the objective of my
Right.
definition of sales. And because of that, I'm also involved into Rotary. I'm a Rotarian as such. And then I'm also into yoga. I do practice yoga, Bhagavad Gita, and all that. And I also go to wildlife and all that. And I also eat a lot of good food wherever it is there. And if you see what is my life revolves around, if anybody comes and asks any help, I would be willing to help them in whatever the possible way is what I say. I've got many other interests like going to movie, learning some
Oh,
new
okay.
things. What is the best time that I spend? Most of the time is to read some books or the other. I would have had collection of about now 600, 700 books or something. But then now from those hardboard books, everything has got into Kindle now. So
Yeah,
keep going on the other.
exactly.
And then spend some time on learning and some new technology, new methodology of teaching, training is what I keep on investing my time.
So, which movie you watched recently?
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that we watch, but one movie which recently impressed us is a Kannada movie here, what we call it as Kantara. Okay, this Kantara has been a good movie to watch after a long time. It gives a good fresh of breath, good methodology what they have done, and very nice beginning and the end is what they have done. And of course, there are many other movies there, but
Right.
this is what one.
Yeah. Okay, I'll surely watch this now.
Yeah, you can watch. You can watch.
So, how do you keep up with the latest industry trends?
See, I think one is that I keep reading a lot of books, a lot of
Right.
articles. Another one is I also invest some amount of money in shares. Okay. And when you invest in shares, you get some annual reports, you get something of updates on what's happening on the market front is on one side.
Right.
Then the second one is, as I said, knowledge is power. You must keep reading. You must keep practicing on this. And the third thing is about the third one is about if you're not in technology today, you won't do that. It's important to update your own technology. Like we were not using a CRM sometime back, but today it has become a mandatory. Every day morning you
Yes,
come and update the CRM is the first thing
absolutely.
which happens there, correct?
Right.
And then the another one which I say is that keep going to some of these tech events which happens there or something.
Right.
So keep updated with what is happening. And fourth, the last one which I say is that any company which gives me an opportunity, I say I want to invest some time to go and meet along with your people and meet the customer. That's the best experience that you
Right.
get. You understand what's the market reality when you go there. You spend about half a day or something to understand so many things which happens there. That's how I keep updating on this.
Right. That's great. So, can you list some qualities that every salesperson should have?
Yeah, I said that's a very good. There are, you ask any salesperson what are the qualities, he would list a lot of things that you should
Yeah.
have, right? But I feel like in terms of the attitude, I say one of the qualities that everything has to be customer focused. You
Yes.
take yourself backside and focus on what you can do to make that guy successful is what you think. That's
Right.
the first. And the second one, the skill is that he should show so much of curiosity and how to understand what this guy is actually saying. And that's
Yes.
how he should know how to ask good questions and all that to understand what this guy is saying. See, there are so many things that the customer might be saying, but how do you really understand what he means? And that's where asking question. And third one, you should have a lot of patience to see it's not to rush too much. No? It's important
Right.
to have a lot of patience and see, am I doing right to the customer is what he has to think about it. Okay. These are what I call it as attitude. And the fourth thing is I say life is all about optimism and how much you can go out of your way to help the customer is
Right.
what it, this is how if he has this. And as we discussed earlier, ability to accept rejection if he learns, then it will be fantastic journey for him in the sales.
Right. Agreed. So, on also he should be very up to date with the current trends, like what's
I
going on.
agree.
Yeah, what's going on in the market, and he should know actually everything. Because when we sit,
Absolutely.
yeah, because when we sit in front of the client, we should know like what
Correct.
we are doing, like in and out. So
Correct.
that's one
At
thing I
least,
guess. Yeah,
true, true. At least he should know what he is doing, and he should
exactly.
have a curiosity to know what others are
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, and
Good.
most important thing which I feel is that he should be very happy that in what he is doing. Like as you
Uh,
said earlier, like I love this profession. The one
mm,
should be like this. Then
correct.
only then only you will grow in your career, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
So
completely agree with you.
yeah. So just I we just actually want to know that once the lead generation is done, right? So, what are the ideal steps a salesperson should take to pursue that lead?
So that's a good question, I would say. See, first of all, when you get a lead, okay, there is a lot of things that the organization would have done to get that lead, correct? There is a back end
Right,
work that have gone. Okay, so much of effort would have gone to generate that one lead. And yes, somebody shows some curiosity to know what is that you're offering, and he puts either a request for quote or anything, whatever. The first thing is that what he has to do is to study who is this customer. Go to his
Right.
website, go to his LinkedIn, and also you make a note about what is this designation of something, whom is he
Right.
representing. And then you prepare what is it you want to know from this customer. Okay. And make a note of what is that I want to know in this discussion, what is the objective of doing this discussion.
Right.
Okay. And once he prepares this, then he has to set up a meeting. And when he sets up a meeting or something, it should be, now that we have an online or something, it's easy. But otherwise, I always used to say, carry all the relevant material, what is required for you to go to the call.
Yes.
Okay. And make it so professional and easy for the customer to do this. And the third step, when I say, is how do you open up your call uh, to give a comfort level for the customer to open up and say, okay,
Right.
this is what I have. That initial ice breaking or the comfort level is what you have to do. And then ask a lot of questions. It's not only the factual question, get some insightful questions on this. And
Right.
then once you do this, you must do one important fact, which we always tell, is that summarize your understanding to customer and say, is this my understanding right? And
Right.
that's the beauty of this. If you have understood, the customer says, wow, it's fantastic. But if you have not understood, it gives you additional information to correct yourself. So the
Right.
misunderstanding can be reduced. And then when you're presenting your solution, uh, do a lot of research to find out whom are you presenting, what is that you
Right.
want, what is the information that you're giving, and make a lot of structure uh, to the entire presentation, whatever it is. Either it's a proposal or a presentation, have a structure to it, and articulate what is the value that you're communicating to your customers or the benefit that he's going to get. I think the biggest challenge is that people don't articulate what is the value that they offer.
Right.
Okay. And then if there is some objection, if it is there, you handle with a lot of patience to understand. And I'm sure, believe in your price is what I say. I think in every price is the right price. Somebody in an organization has set a price. You believe in the price and then handle the negotiation very well and then close. This is what I say as a part of this. But in between, if you are doing capital equipment or any other product, you might have to require a demonstration of your product. I think that's a strategic way of demonstrating to him. Don't consider it as one event. There is a lot more goes into demonstrating of the product, is what I say. Based on the product, what you're selling, based on the approach that you use, you can use these basic steps when the inquiry comes on this. And don't try to be in hurry to close the sales in one day, all that. Look at what the buyer's journey first, and then align yourself is what I say. And
Right.
where the customer is there, then you can definitely align to this. Everything will fall into place only when you understand more about the customer. Is what I say.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
great. That's because this is where people stuck. Because once the lead generation is done, generally people don't get कि अब आगे क्या करना है, right? So
Correct.
this was the very important thing you said it. So you said right now, and thank you for that. And so,
Correct.
what is that one suggestion or advice you will give to the newbies who are coming into this sales industry?
Yeah. First is the first one advice to them is: are you joining this profession by desire or by default that there is no other option? That's why you joined this profession or something. There are a lot of people who say, I don't have any other option. Let me try and sales
Right.
profession. But
Right.
that's not going to work. But if that you might get a conviction on sales over a period of time. But at least when you join for this profession, you must give at least 3 years of good time to invest your time, effort, everything to
Right.
say whether this is good or bad for you on this. And everything can be learned in sales, is what I say. It's a wonderful profession. if at all, one suggestion to you is that when you join this, come with an open mind. It's a world to explore. You can
Yes.
go to any heights in sales, is what I say. I can give you thousands of examples where people join from bottom level to they've gone up to vice president level of a company or something. So when they can do, you can also do, but you must give a good amount of time, dedication as what is required, is what I say.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming in here, and it's always a pleasure talking to you,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
shared your insights with us. Thank you so much for
yeah.
coming in here and making it a huge success. So thank you so much once again. I hope you
Yeah.
also enjoyed the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yes, Ria, it's wonderful because you made me to think about certain aspect which I had
Right.
forgotten for some time, is what I would say. Okay, but these are some things, not many questions which normally people ask on this, but you made me to open up. But I always say one thing, sales is a wonderful profession. It's a beautiful profession. You respect the profession and the profession will respect you. Okay,
Yes.
I say whatever I am there today is basically because of this profession, sales. And there are many people who are there in sales. If you imagine if there are no salespeople in the world, what would have happened? I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
economy would have come to standstill. All
Yes.
salespeople are doing a wonderful profession and novel profession of going and helping somebody to become successful or reduce the pain there. It's important to keep doing this profession, is what I say. Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much once again.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks. We'll definitely stay in touch. Yeah.
Yes, sure.